Not only do the Eagles have the best duo at wide receiver in the NFL, they also have the fastest guy. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, Dingbat here. I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. You know, not only do the Eagles have the best pair of wide receivers in the National Football League in A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, they also have the self-proclaimed, and I think he's absolutely 100% right, fastest man in the NFL. The question is, will the fastest man show up for training camp this year? It's going to be interesting. But before we do that and we get into it, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, the most throttled Eagles content creator in all of the internet. And if you've been subscribed for a while, I just want to thank you so much for all the support you give to me. It truly, truly means a lot. Now, I was sitting there and I was reading articles and different things, and I saw an interview with Devon Allen. And Devon Allen was saying that he is the fastest player in the National Football League. And I mean, it's kind of hard to think that he's wrong. That's what he does. I mean, that's what he's doing, you know, pretty much all year when he's not playing football. He's been to what? Olympics. He's get the fourth fastest time in the world. I mean, he's fast, right? But this is what he said, right? Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver Devon Allen just ran the fourth fastest 110-meter hurdle time in the world and now says he's the fastest player in the NFL. This is what he said. "I definitely am," Allen told TMZ Sports recently when asked who is the fastest wide receiver. Allen had this to say when asked about Dolphins' Tyreek Hill and Seahawks' DK Metcalf in regards to their claiming of being the NFL fastest. He said, "I'm not going to roast these guys because what they did was impressive," Allen said. "I raced Tyreek Hill when I was in high school. We raced and he smoked me when we were in high school. And DK Metcalf ran a 10.3 a couple years ago. Is super impressive for a guy 6'4", 225 pounds. But I think especially at the top level, top 5, top 10 in the world, there is a big gap in terms of performance." You know, and he basically goes on to say that, you know, he trains for it. That's what he does. And, you know, there's a big jump from when he was in high school and what the guys in the NFL do. Listen, I think Devon Allen is the fastest guy, and we're going to find out very, very shortly whether or not he's going to even show up for training camp. Because if he makes the World Championships, I think it's where was it, in Turkey, something like that. He is not going to probably show up for camp, which is going to mean that we're going to have to go out and get another wide receiver or we're going to have a roster spot open. Unless they save him a spot until he comes back, maybe they'll do that. But I really want to see Devon Allen play. I want to use him more. I want to try to take advantage of his speed. And I think the Eagles need to do it. But, I mean, is he the fastest guy in the NFL? Probably. I would assume that he is. It's hard for me to think that he's not. But I thought it was an interesting interview. I'll leave the link in the description. You guys check it out. He also said that if there was one player on the Eagles that could probably be really good at track and field and stuff, he thinks it's Devonta Smith. He said Devonta Smith it would be really good in the 400 meters, just the way he trains, his work ethic, and things like that. I thought it was interesting that he said Devonta Smith, because I was going to talk about Devonta Smith anyways. Because Devonta Smith, to me, as I said this before, Devonta Smith is about to have a monster year. Okay, a monster year. When I say monster year, what do I mean? Like, I think Devonta Smith will end the year being a top 5 wide receiver in this league. He will be listed, and it won't come from just Philly 500 saying it. I think that he is actually going to get the credit he deserves, because I think he's going to have a monster year. I think he's going to lead us in yards and receptions, and that's no knock on A.J. Brown. He was recently, Devonta Smith, by the way, was named the Eagles' most promising building block entering the 2023 season. Bleacher Report did a whole, what's that one player that's a building block for all the teams? One of them was Devonta Smith. This is what they said. Bleacher Report recently revealed a list of every NFL team's most promising building blocks for 2023. Devonta Smith made the list for Philadelphia. Some of the best offenses in the league right now are the ones that have two top-tier receivers. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Samuel Ayuk. You get the picture. The Eagles have put themselves squarely in that conversation with A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. However, none of these teams have yet to actually sign contract extensions for their second receiver. Higgins, Chase, Waddle, Ayuk, and Smith are all on their rookie deals. It's going to be really interesting to see how each team approaches the idea of paying two receivers more than $20 million annually. Smith and the other young receivers are going to have to prove they are indispensable to their current team. Smith set the Eagles' single-season record for receptions by wide receiver in 2022 with 95. He'll look to earn Pro Bowl and All-Pro status in year 3. And he definitely is going to. Now, it's an interesting question. Devonta Smith, when his contract comes up, are the Eagles going to pay him and A.J. Brown? That's yet to be seen. I think the way that the Eagles are going to have to do it, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Jalen Hurts set up his contract so favorably. There is no way in hell that you ever let Devonta Smith walk out of the building. You just can't do it. You can't draft a guy at 10 and then let him play rookie deal and then walk. It's not going to happen. I would let A.J. Brown go before I would let Devonta Smith go. Okay, now his contract, he's got another 2 years on his contract, A.J. Brown. Devonta Smith has to play this year. Then the Eagles can talk about picking up his, the final year of his contract or start looking at giving him an extension. And I think they will. I think ultimately they'll give Devonta Smith an extension. I think they'll work it out with A.J. Brown as well. And I expect them to sign both guys. I expect both guys to be a big part of the Philadelphia Eagles' future going forward. I don't think it's going to be a problem at all. But you never know until it's signed. But, at worst case scenario, you pick up his option year, Devonta Smith. He plays next year, and then he would play the year after that. So you would have 2 years to work out a possible extension with him. I think the Eagles will do it pretty quick. I'm sure Howie Roseman and the way he thinks, the way he operates, there's no doubt in my mind that that they've already probably in the Jalen Hurts contract and how they're paying his cap number, they've probably already worked out putting Devonta Smith putting him down and giving him a contract extension after the season. I can't see any way in which the Eagles wouldn't do that. Devonta Smith is going to be a future Hall of Famer. Devonta Smith is that good. I'm telling you, you got to sign him. They will. And I agree with this article in that he is the most promising building block to build on in 2023 because he's entering his third year. I mean, listen, there are guys like Jalen Carter. They're all great building blocks and stuff. But Devonta Smith is entering his third year, meaning that I think that he's on track to have his best year this year. And 2, you got to decide what to do with him, what to do with his extension after this year. And I don't think that there's any way in which you can let him out of the building. And I don't want to let A.J. Brown out of the building either. And if I had to choose just one, if you said there's no way you can keep 2, you have to choose just one, I'm choosing Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith is a little younger. And I think Devonta Smith is going to have a Hall of Fame career. And I think A.J. Brown can too. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it's like picking between which child you love more, right? That's what it feels like. So I hate doing it. But Devonta Smith, you have to sign him. He'll get an extension. And I don't think it's going to be a big issue. But I expect Devonta Smith to go out and have a huge year. I'll tell you what, right now, I think that Devonta Smith will have at least one game where he goes over 200 yards receiving. I believe he has his first 200-yard receiving year or game this year. I think he's gonna be a monster. I really do. And some of it, let's face it, A.J. Brown helps open up things for him. He helps things open up for Dallas Goedert. That's why you have to keep both these guys. the way the NFL's going, especially with being a passing league, you need multiple receivers that can catch. So I'm sure that the Eagles plan on re-signing Devonta Smith and keeping A.J. Brown both long-term for the future of the Philadelphia Eagles. I expect to have both these guys for the next 5 to 7 years. Easy. And I expect a lot of record books to be set for the Eagles by the time that all happens. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Is Devonta Smith the number one building block going into the 2023 season? And is there any way you don't sign him and you would let him walk? Because I can't see it happening. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision. We're all just living in it. Don't for 1 second think I don't see what's going on with Mark Holmes. I see all the videos. Every time I go on his channel, put his video on, there's a clip of me. There's a picture of me up. I see it all. Don't worry. But I figured I'd give him a couple days of reprieve before I double moonwalk that ass again. Because these Cowboy fans, they just never learn. They just never, ever, ever learn. I don't get it. Denzel Washington out.